Alright guys, welcome back to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. So this is a little bit of an awkward thing here, because this is actually during a session that I kind of did a lot of stuff off screen. I actually mentioned this at the beginning of, during this part. So basically, what I decided to show you guys was the solutions to the two clusters that I did off screen. Clusters 3 and 4. They're pretty standard stuff, you know, it's just the same exact stuff I was doing in the other two that I've already done at this point in the game. Because what I did off screen was I captured a bunch of Borgia towers, I looked at some viewpoints, and that was really all there is to it. I didn't do anything major off screen. I didn't do any story stuff. I didn't do anything like that Templar lair or anything like that. I might have done, I think I did an assassination contract, but assassination contracts are so samey, it doesn't matter that if I do them off screen. So, yes, this is actually when I did all of that. In terms of finding, so I don't mention how hard it is to find the eye symbols. It's not that hard. It's more that there's only really one that really makes me legitimately angry, and it's because of the fact that I can't reach it until the end of the game because the Animus blocks you from going in that area. But other than that, the clusters themselves aren't that hard this time around. I mean, especially considering I'm using a freaking guide. That's just my #1 rule with these kind of things. You know, I don't want to waste time trying to figure out the solution. So, just look at a guide. Don't bother trying to, you know, figure it out yourself. I'm sure you can find it yourself because it's not that hard. But, I mean, someone wrote a guide for it. But these clusters, they're not hard. You know, you can just brute force them and stuff like that, and you'll find the answers really quickly. My gripe with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is all the side content is so spread out and just really samey that I just felt that this was it's just better to do most of it off screen. But it's not like. But for the most part, it's all pretty standard stuff. I mean, you're just going to places, collecting stuff, and then walking off. Or, you know, you're going places, killing somebody, and then initiating a cutscene, and then walking away. Am I legit just brute forcing this puzzle? This is taking me way longer than it should. Especially because I probably have the guide out. It's probably because the guide wasn't descriptive enough, because its way of telling me what something was very unspecific. Like, it was very general. Like, it was line, and I'm like, yes, there's like 4 of those. Do you want to be a little more specific? Or line with dot. I'm like, oh my god, just stop. Tell me, you know, specifically, like, what key do I press? Or, like, it says one that looks like a 4, but in reverse, and I'm like, what? Yeah, so this is me trying to brute force it. I am taking way too long with this. Yeah, but this is... I'm doing this post-commentary, obviously, by the way. But my past self will explain everything I do off-screen. But these clusters are not hard at all. They're very... Well, they shouldn't be that hard, but... I mean, I think the more challenge is just getting to them in the first place. Because I actually like what Assassin's Creed 2 does a little bit better. With the symbols, where you just find the symbol and you just stand there for a few seconds. In Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, you have to, like, climb into the symbol. Okay, finally. You have to, like, climb into the symbol. Which is really weird. But it's not a deal breaker. And luckily, there's only really 10 of these. Because I think back at Assassin's Creed 2, there was, like, 2. It was, like, 12. I can't remember. Because at the time of this recording, I'm actually replaying Assassin's Creed 2. because I got a friend gifted me the Ezio collection on the Switch. That is about 4 copies of every Ezio related title. As a I think you move the pawn. Not okay. I know nothing about chess, but
Quarantine zone.
but I just know you can move the pawn, dip nuts. All right, so quarantine zone. I think this is actually when they start bringing in 2, where you have to get them you have to get them within a few seconds of each other. So my recommendation is just find where the dots are, and then immediately go after them, just so you know where to go. But you can tell you're running out of time by the little red ring going around you. But yeah, so now that's the first cluster I did. Here is the second one. As soon as the fade comes in just a few seconds, I know I put in a fade, put in a fade, put in a fade, put in a fade. Come on. There we go. So I think this is like right after I dealt with some conflict. So here's the thing. I'm not going to show you the specific locations of where they are because it doesn't really matter. Because you'll find the eye symbols like the moment, like throughout the story. Just to be honest with you, like if you go out of your way to do the Borgia Towers and the story stuff, you will find all of the things fairly easily. And one thing that Brotherhood does, I don't know if 2 did this, but you can go into the Animus database, go to the secret locations, look for the Subject 16 tab, and then mark that location on your map so you can go straight there, which is a godsend. It really does help, because back in Assassin's Creed 2, if you couldn't remember where an eye symbol thing was, if you didn't find the eye symbol thing like right when you were there, you had to remember where that was so you could find it easily later. But here, you can just mark it on your map. I don't know if you could do that back in Assassin's Creed 2. Don't quote me on this, because I don't remember. I don't remember, is the thing. I actually just found that out in this Let's Play, because I did it by accident. Yeah, but they brought back the rings puzzle and stuff like that, so. I'm also replaying Revelations at the time of this recording, just because it's been a while, and I might do Revelations probably next year, or by the end of this year, I don't know. Because, I want to get through the Ezio trilogy, and then I want to get into the next major numbered entry, which is Assassin's Creed 3, which is, again, my personal favorite. I don't care what anyone says. I love Assassin's Creed 3. It's my favorite of the series. Like, you can keep your Assassin's Creed 4s and your Assassin's Creed 2s and your... I think some people say the new games are their favorites, but I honestly don't get it, but whatever. I actually do like Rogue. I think Rogue's a really good game. It's rushed as all hell, but I think Rogue has some fun in it. I think Rogue, it also just has a really interesting protagonist. I think that the idea of, a former assassin becoming a Templar and seeing that evolution was interesting. We had that with Haytham back in 3, but I don't want to get too much into detail about that. And even then, you don't even play as Haytham as an assassin. So, yeah. And then, Assassin's Creed Unity, Jesus Christ. I mean, I actually didn't have that many experiences with glitches, but my main problem with Unity is the fact that a lot of stuff kind of relies on microtransactions, and I hate microtransactions. I don't care. Like, I think microtransactions are the dumbest things ever in video games right now. Okay, so you have to select certain wavelengths to get them to match. So, yeah, there you go. It's the first 2. I kind of brute forced it, I think, but... Again, yeah. V, from Devil May Cry?
Are we jumping the gun? You've already had him arrested and sedated.
And here's just a phone call. I think it's audible enough. I don't care if I'm talking over it, to be honest with you. This is all just inconsequential shit that I think gets retconned anyway, later games. Because, like, I actually just remembered this when I was playing Assassin's Creed 3. Back in Assassin's Creed 2, they make a reference to the fact that George Washington has an apple. But in Assassin's Creed 3, that never happens unless you play the Tyranny of King Washington. And even then, that scenario isn't even real. It's just an illusion that was created by the Apple because Washington and Connor held it. But whatever. But I think we're about done with this cluster. We're doing the quarantine section right now. There's a picture behind all this, but yeah, you can see the picture. I don't know what it is of. I can't tell because the cursor's too small. There's the first dot. Okay, find the second dot. There you go. I think later on they're going to start adding 3 dots, and then I think there's one where it's just like a million dots, but you can just mash the X button. But yeah, that is all there is from future Caleb, so I'm going to let past Caleb take it from here. So, oh, conflict.
Don't stand up too fast.
Alright guys, welcome back to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. The last time we met in Assassin's Creed, we began... Okay, so I did record all the stuff I did off... I'm not sure if I'm gonna make that into a post-commentary section, or if I'm not just gonna put it in at all, or I'm gonna put certain parts in. I don't know. But I actually did some work off-screen. First off, I actually did get the last artifact. It was Claudia's journal, or the book from Assassin's Creed 2, you know, where we kept all of our finances and stuff in order. If you want to know where to find that, it's up here. So, unfortunately, this one's actually a bit of a challenge to see, because the moment you enter the room or you go too far, you'll enter back into the sanctuary. But if you go in here and go right about here-ish, that's where the book is. And yeah, that's all there is to it. It would seem like an obvious place for it, but the detection for entering back into the sanctuary is a bit narrow, so you gotta really just stick to the wall the moment you enter. But yes, I did find all of the artifacts. I didn't get anything out of it, of course, but yeah, I found all the artifacts, which is nice. But I did do a lot of stuff off screen because I just felt like maybe I just shouldn't do it on screen. Because it'd just be boring as shit. I found a lot of viewpoints, and I did some Borgia influence taking. You know, I took some Borgia towers, because you already know the process of doing stuff. And I also bought a few shops in terms of renovations. So yeah, I did a little bit. I didn't do anything like this Templar lair that popped up after, or this lair Romulus. I didn't do anything like that. So don't worry too much about that. I didn't do any main missions or anything like that. I just did some stuff to give myself a little bit of a foundation to work with. Again, I am not sure if I'm doing this stuff off screen, but yeah. Yeah, so this is the stuff I've done with the Borgia influence. I tried to do this one actually, but it's Animus can't go there yet. But yeah. But I did buy some stuff, so that's actually why my economy, my total earnings is much better than it was originally. But yeah, I also did the virtual training sessions off screen, and I actually did pretty well for a few of them. For one, I just did the bare minimum for these, to be honest with you. Actually, I did pretty well on this one right here. I got to 13 kills. But for short, well, actually, I saw that one off screen. Actually, I went fucking ham on this one, actually, which was surprising. I did these. So remember how I mentioned that there's actually a bonus for doing really well in, there's actually a bonus for completing all the virtual training sessions? Well, here's that bonus, baby. Even the game doesn't know how to react to this. Yep. So I made jokes about this back in Assassin's Creed 2. I made a couple of jokes about this. But yes, there is a skin for Raiden in from Metal Gear Solid 4. This isn't it. I mean, technically this is his Metal Gear Rising skin for the beginning of the game, but yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna play as him. I'm gonna play as this Raiden for a little bit. It does look a little weird, I will be honest. Actually, this is the first time I've ever unlocked the Raiden skin for myself. Because I typically, I just don't go for the virtual training. But the virtual training was actually pretty interesting. It made me use stuff that I never really considered using. But yeah, I actually did some stuff off screen. So yeah, I'm gonna play as thank you. But I do have a you do have a command for my future self for every time I make a kill in this, and I mean like a big kill, like something for like an assassination in terms of the main story, I demand that I edit in the rules of nature chorus. Like, I just want the rules of nature, just like him screaming rules of nature. If I don't do that, then I will not be happy with myself. All right, so I'm actually gonna renovate this bank because banks are actually really important in this game. Last game, banks were a thing, but you couldn't do anything with them because you could only get your money from Claudia after it showed up. Now we can just withdraw our money, no problem. So, yeah. So I'll just take that, and I'm actually gonna invest in these nuts. But yeah. So I'm just gonna I still have that session. I actually also did a couple of subjects 16 puzzles, so I might include that back into the mix. Let me see if I can find it. The truth. I did a few clusters. I think I got 4 of them. Oh, I can repeat them. I don't want to though. So what I might do is I'll find the locations off screen and then I'll show you the solutions to the puzzles if I don't end up finding them. But yeah, that's all that there is to that. So let me see here. Oh, there's a lair of Romulus over there. There's also one over here we could do. I forgot, how many layers of Romulus are there? Is there only like the few? Let's actually check out this Templar lair while I'm here. And let me look at my DNA. Secret location. Inventory. Items? Oh, they don't tell me. Maybe secret location? I have no idea what any of that means. 6 keys. So there's 6 layers of Romulus. Let's do that Templar lair, though, because I'm kind of curious about that. It might be similar to what happened last game with the Templar lairs, where you just go in there, take all their money, and run away, or whatever. But yeah. So I guess I do have the DLC of the game, meaning that I can show off those optional sequences. I do believe also I have the Leonardo DLC for this game. I'm actually gonna... I think I already talked about how investing works. It's exactly the same as Assassin's Creed 2. You can invest in stuff and your income will increase exponentially. Well, not exponential, not like a huge amount, but it's a nice amount. You know, most of it's actually really useful stuff to invest in, so I would recommend doing it when you get a chance. My bad. Can I invest in this? I don't know. Okay. I like how I said I was going to do the optional stuff off screen. Okay, I guess really what I would consider to be stuff to do off screen would probably just really be stuff that just doesn't really have any significance, like finding the viewpoints and stuff like that. Is there a hay bale somewhere around here? I don't want to just jump off. Because I don't want to just waste my time, and I'm dead. I don't want to waste all my time Because I did rewatch the Assassin's Creed 2 Let's Play a while back, and I mean, I did notice that it was pretty boring to just go after the viewpoints at random times. Like, it wasn't that bad. It was just like, I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to put you guys through that, so. And it's not like there's that many viewpoints in this game anyway. It doesn't get bad until probably around Assassin's Creed 3 and 4. Oh, here it is over here. Wow, this door just looks blatantly pasted in. Like I'm sorry, I don't know how else to say that. It just looks blatantly, like, it's not, it doesn't even blend in that well. I'm talking from the game standpoint, not from a real life standpoint, but in real life that does look pretty bad.